Whatever happened to predictability? The milkman, the paperboy, evening TV. Did I get delivered here? Somebody tell me, please. This whole world's confusing me. Clouds as mean as you've ever seen. Ain't a bird who knows you're true. Then a little voice inside you whispers, don't sell your dreams so soon. Everywhere you look, there's a heart, a hand to hold on to. Everywhere you look, there's a face of somebody who needs you. Everywhere you look.
Hello and welcome to WCTV News. I'm Maddie Mosaic.
And I'm Hugh Janvier, and this is your Catamount News.
Pausing.
During the beginning of April, Western Carolina University celebrated a week of kindness. During the week of kindness, students, faculty, and staff were encouraged to take a moment out of their day to show kindness in their own way. Random acts of kindness were spotted all throughout campus during the week. WCU hosted a series of events contributing to the Week of Kindness that included dance and yoga classes on the UC lawn, guided meditation lessons, and public lectures focusing on kindness.
Remarkable biomedical research that may revolutionize cancer treatment is coming to light at WCU. WCTV member Liam Bridgman has more on the story.
Apodaca's 353 lab is home to lots of research equipment, chemical substances, and hardworking students. Dr. Chana da Silva, Associate Professor of Chemistry, is working with 10 students in the lab. Their focus is on nanotechnology.
Nanotechnology is the technology that deals with the materials that are in the nanometer region. So 1 nanometer is a billionth of a meter. So we are talking about tiny, tiny, small materials, small things.
Dr. Da Silva and his team of students create these nanoparticles in their lab. Currently, there are many researchers looking at different applications of nanotechnology. A few of those include paint, fertilizer, and food packaging. Students in Dr. Da Silva's lab, however, are trying to apply nanotechnology to the field of biotechnology, which includes medicine and pharmaceuticals. The team is currently working with europium nanoparticles.
Europium, that's a metal, is chosen because europium emits red light, which is really good for human cancer imaging.
The goal of this research is to one day have nanoparticles that bind to cancer cells and emit their glow.
You inject the nanoparticles to the patient and it goes and it finds the cancer cells, then you can image, then it glows, then we know where it glows, so we know where the cancer is spreading. Or during the surgery, the surgeon can remove the cancer because he can visually see it because it's glowing.
The problem with the team's goal is that nanoparticles are not yet designed to target the cancer cells. For this, the team must come up with a peptide.
This peptide ligand is designed that peptide only gets recognized by that particular cancer type. So if you want to go for a different cancer, you need to design a different peptide. So the peptide is attached to the surface of this nanoparticle. So the peptide guides, it's the driver. It guides where the nanoparticle goes, and when it finds the right cell type, it binds to the cell and it's taken up by the cell.
Dr. Da Silva is unsure how long it will take for this nanoparticle research to work in the medical field, but he is sure of one thing. The potential of this research is out of this world. For WCTV, I'm Liam Bridgman.
All right, show of hands for those of you sitting here watching this. Who here knows a thing or two about art? Well, I hope someone watching this raised their hands because I don't. Fortunately, for my sakes at least, from April 11th to the 15th, the Mountain Heritage Center would be showing off a unique style of arts, quilts. 21 unique styles of quilt from cultures past and present that can tell over 1,000 stories, some never having been shown off before. So, Mary, I don't know if you heard, but after the little fiasco that was last month's show, I did some digging, all
Yeah.
right, about sports. You know, I knew that they use balls in sports, but did you know that some sports use round balls,
Round, okay.
ovals, squares?
no, what?
Some balls that aren't even balls at all.
I don't think that's correct, Hugh.
those aren't balls. Well, what do you know?
I don't know. I'm just trying my best, okay?
Well, I'll tell you who does know. Liam, take it away.
Thanks, Hugh. Hi there, Catamounts. Spring sports are coming to a close, so let's take a look at how our Catamount spring sports are shaping up as they're either entering or ending their final month of play. Let's begin with women's tennis. They fought hard throughout the month of April to be placed as a 3rd seed in their upcoming SoCon Championship. On April 21st, they'll take on the Sanford Bulldogs in the first round of the tournament. Earlier in the month, the women lost to the Bulldogs 6-1. They'll look to avenge that loss in the upcoming round. If they can pull out a win, they'll either take on ETSU or UNCG in the next match. WCU's opponent will depend on which team wins from their match on April the 21st. Men's and women's track and field has had a great month of April. On April 15th and 16th, the team hosted the Catamount Classic right here in Cullowhee. The teams that were present include Wofford, East Tennessee State, and Gardner-Webb, amongst others. At the end of the meet, the men finished with 174 points, good enough for first. The women finished with 134 points, which got them a 3rd place finish. Both teams' SoCon championships will start on April 30th and will segue into May. It'll be held in Birmingham, Alabama. Now to men's and women's golf. The women's team played in their SoCon championship April 17th through the 19th. They finished in 6th place. Elizabeth Lobauer played it great during the tournament. She finished 5th by the end of the tournament. The men's championship will begin on April 22nd and end on the 24th. It'll be held in Greensboro, Georgia. Good luck to them. WCU's baseball started off their season with big wins early in February, but have slowed down since then. They have a whopping 15 SoCon games remaining in their schedule in April and May against the Citadel, VMI, Mercer, Wofford, and UNCG. Following their game on April 16th against Sanford, the team stands at 1-5 against their SoCon opponents. The team will have to win a majority of those upcoming games to get a good seed in the SoCon Championship, which will begin on May 24th. Softball has had a similar up and down year. They are currently sitting at 18-26. They now have to look to the immediate future as the team is taking a trip to Greenville, South Carolina for 3 games against Furman starting on April 23rd. Next, the team will look to finish out their season strong at home against the Chattanooga Mocs for a 3-game homestand. After that, the team will travel to Greensboro for their SoCon Championship. Now it's time to present our Athlete of the Month, senior softball player Myra Twitty. Twitty won the SoCon Softball Player of the Week on April 18th for her outstanding play against Tennessee and Mercer. In 3 games, she batted 4 for 8 with 4 walks, 3 home runs, 6 RBIs, and 4 runs scored. Great work, Myra, and good luck in the tournament. Well, that's going to do it for my sports report. Thank you for joining me. Finish out your semester strong, and always remember to support your Catamount athletics. Back to you two at the desk.
Did you see the carnival on campus? On April 19th and 20th, Last Minute Productions hosted a carnival on campus that was open to students. Out of all of the events Last Minute Production hosts, this is by far the most fun you'll have. The carnival consists of many rides spread out through campus, including a giant Ferris wheel on the lawn. It's pretty hard to miss. Engaging in WCU's community can bring wonderful experiences and lifelong friends. Students of LMP have always brought amazing events to students. We look forward to the other activities and the organizations will bring to campus.
Coming up, an interview with one of our beloved NBS seniors. As for me, Mountain Dew break.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
How prepared is your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
Let's go.
you'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Make a plan today.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Well, this has been a crazy year for us here at MBS, but today I have with me Chandler Marlowe, and he has been an anchor here for our WCTV Newscasts. Chandler, so what's your major?
Well, my major is engineering technology, and it's been quite interesting working with that. I've had a lot of hands-on experience with technological aspects of engineering. There's been some math involved, so it's been kind of a nice blend, really, I'd say.
Okay, so what do you want to do with that?
Well, I'm looking into some full-time careers currently that involve possibly working at manufacturing plants or pretty much anything that involves, utilizing the technology that comes with engineering. So, working CNC machines or doing some designing 3D modeling, that sort of thing.
That sounds like a lot of brain. I'm a communication major, so I'm just banking on talking and people paying me to talk. At some point, I don't know how that'll work out.
Yeah.
So what's it been like for you here at MBS?
Well, honestly, it's been quite a journey, and I really enjoyed the time that I've spent with NBS because the main reason I joined in the first place was that it reminded me a lot of what I did when I was back in middle school, and it was essentially what we had was our little nightly news network, which was our little news station there. So, I spent a lot of time switching back and forth between roles, and I really enjoyed the things that I got to do there, especially being an anchor. I like to think I have like a photogenic personality. I like being on camera, so that was really what got me to join, and I love the experience. Okay,
most of the time people just tell me I have a face for radio, so I'm not really sure what that means, but it seems nice. Maybe I got a nice voice, I don't know. So after being at WCU and getting ready to graduate, what kind of advice would you give to maybe some incoming freshmen?
Well, for incoming freshmen, I'd say definitely figure out exactly what you want to do really early on, because I started out as an ECET or electrical and computer engineering technology major. I took one semester of circuit analysis and I was like, no, I'm not doing this. So I changed my major right after my first semester. So that's basically the advice I have to give to freshmen. Just really figure out, you don't have to have it all figured out, like as far as job, career, all that, but essentially just make sure you really know what you want to do within that first year so that you don't end up making too many major changes and missing out on a lot of credits or other opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I definitely limited myself a lot my first 2 years here, because I was always in communications, but I just always I stopped trying new things and going out, and maybe if I did take a class on engineering, I'd be like, I'm an engineer. I'm not a communication major, but I pretty much just stayed in my lane until this MBS thing came around. It's a blast being creative, trying to have fun, working together. So let's talk more about electrical engineer, or just engineering in general. For someone who is simple-minded like myself, who only thinks in words, what all would you be doing? like with that degree?
Well, with that degree, really, there's a lot of opportunities for someone with engineering technology. Like I said before, there are opportunities for, handling CNC machines, which are essentially high-powered machines where you can laser cut or drill pockets into objects or work pieces. So yeah, and you can work with lots of different kinds of designing. There's interior designing and construction management, stuff like that, as well as what I really like, 3D modeling. I spent a good amount of time working with Creo, and that software I found to be really enjoyable when 3D modeling lots of different things for classes.
Now, do you 3D model to 3D print? Or is it two completely different things? I hear 3D, I think it's the same thing. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, you use essentially the 3D modeling software for 3D printing, and although I was not tasked with that every single time I used Creo, that was something that I had to do for a project or two, especially back when I started here and went through the Catamount Gap session. We were to 3D print multiple little models that we made using SketchUp at the time.
It's like I can barely code with WordPress, and it's not even coding. It's just I can't imagine.
Don't even get me started on coding. No, computer utilization. That course was not my friend either.
Anything with a computer is not my course. I'm not good at it. So ultimately, where do you see yourself post graduation? Where do you think you're going to end up? What do you want to do?
Well, really, I'd like to. I'm thinking start out with just an internship. Just to kind of get the feel for the engineering workforce. They tend to, cut the interns a little more slack than they do the full-time employees.
That's fair.
So yeah, I get my foot in the door there, and there's actually a manufacturing plant where I live in Statesville. So it would be ideal if I were to, work in the same city that I lived in. Otherwise, right. I think there'd be a lot more engineering opportunities somewhere closer to the Charlotte metropolitan area. But essentially, yeah, I'm thinking start out as an intern for a little bit, get the feel of it, then
get your foot in the door.
Yeah, exactly. And then just go full time, get my own place, become a full-time engineer.
All right, power to you.
Heck yeah.
So I guess if this doesn't make it, it could be cut and post. So who cares? But let's learn a little bit more about you. Can you tell us a little bit more about you? What are your hobbies? What do you like to do outside of like engineering and maybe even NBS?
Okay, well, outside of engineering and NBS, I really enjoy making content. Actually, I love practicing voice impressions. I have my own TikTok. That's Freelo TV, by the way.
Freelo TV.
But I also enjoy drawing, watching movies and stuff. I can be kind of a movie buff when I want to.
All right, same boat.
Listening to music, YouTube, that sort of thing. Just I just like to have a good time.
Okay, I'm a big hyper fixator myself, but
and hanging out with friends.
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you very much for your time. I appreciated chatting with you, and thanks for sitting down. Back to you at the desk.
Sometimes people make mistakes. You know who you are, litterers. And when they do, we gotta help them clean it up. So, on April 23rd, many people came out and helped correct these mistakes in the form of the 38th annual Tuck River Cleanup. Those involved can expect a day of rafting while helping to clean around 20 miles of trash from the Tuckasegee River from Cullowhee to Whittier, North Carolina. Not only that, but there's a little incentive for those to get in early. The first 500 to volunteer would receive a free shirt. That's how you know this is a big deal. Speaking of cleaning up the nature around Cullowhee, WCTV reporter Liam Bridgman took a little walk through the woods to see how the new nature trail can help the students just de-stress from these hectic lives.
Now to Nick Childs to see what's going on.
Welcome back to Silva Spotlight, where we showcase different restaurants around Silva. I'm Nick Childs, reporting for WCTV, and today we're looking at Lucy in the Sky. Lucy in the Rye, a breakfast cafe.
Here, what?
My semester is very hectic.
Aiden Tysinger is one of the many hardworking students at WCU.
I've got a job, I've got extracurricular activities outside of school, and then I've got my schoolwork itself. So I'd say I'm pretty stressed.
Aiden isn't the only one that's stressed. I'm a student too, I know how stressful it can get towards the end of the semester, but that's why I came out here to the Pinnacle Park Therapy Trail.
The trail opened in Silva's Pinnacle Park on March 11th of this year. It became the first certified forest therapy trail in North Carolina. There are only 12 others in the U.S.
Forest therapy is not hiking. It's not a strenuous activity. It's spending leisurely time in nature, just experiencing it through your senses.
Mark Ellison is the trail's caretaker. He hopes that students of WCU take advantage of the trail and reap all the benefits that it has to offer.
There are many health benefits associated with spending time in nature. One of the most important is that it helps to reduce stress levels and cortisol levels. It helps to lower your blood pressure. Spending time in nature enhances your ability to be able to concentrate.
Those that walk on the trail are encouraged to take their time and connect with the nature around them.
I loved going on the therapy trail. It was a really great way to kind of rest my mind and let myself recalibrate. With the wind going through the trees and the sound of the creek flowing by, it really was relaxing. I would recommend the forest trail to anyone, not just WC students, but yes, 100% for any WC student who needs a break, who's stressed out, they should go check out the trail.
For WCTV, this is Liam Bridgman.
Now to Nick Childs to see what's going on in our little town of Silva.
Welcome back to Silva Spotlight, where we showcase different restaurants around Silva. I'm Nick Childs, reporting for WCTV, and today we're looking at Lucy in the Sky. Lucy in the Rye, a breakfast cafe. Lucy in the Rye is located on Main Street and is open 7:45 a.m. to 2 p.m. You know, like a breakfast cafe. Lucy in the Rye cooks eggs, waffles, sandwiches, and other breakfast and lunch commodities. And if you have a little bit of a sweet tooth, they also have a bakery. I ordered the Huevos Rancheros, and the person I went with ordered the Carnival King waffle. Spice it up with some of Big Willie's Happy Hot Sauce, a local hot sauce company. This has been Nick Childs for WCTV. Don't forget to shop and eat local.
Water's not wet. Random one-liner about water. Think about weather. Throw to co-host about weather. Look at co-host.
Well, all I have is the weather broadcast. I'm passing it to you, Asley Sansel.
And thank you, Maddie. Now for the next week, we are going to have a little bit of a varying weather. On Monday, we're going to have 80 degrees and nice and sunny, carried from the weekend. But sadly, on Tuesday, we are going to have a little bit of light rain in the morning, which is going to bring in a lot of cold weather for the rest of the week. But it will be sunny, so it will dry out that rain, and it'll carry on to the weekend, which will lead into finals. And we all know finals are stressful. Thankfully, next week it is going to be nice and warm. But something no one knew, that on Friday it's going to be Earth Day. So go out and enjoy the nature because you got to celebrate the earth. Now going back to my co-hosts.
It's the last show!
I know, Hugh, I know.
My life has no meaning without random one-liners only 2 people find funny. While I'm having such an existential crisis, I want to say thank you all for watching. I'm Hugh Janvier.
And I'm Maddie Mosaic.
And as always, stay bright, Catamounts.
Thank you very much for supporting us this year. We can't wait to be back next year with more news and content for you.